Welcome to Badass Ladyfolk. I'm your host, Christine Stoddard. And this episode, my guest is simply Vika. Hi, Vika.
Hi.
Love your pink hair.
Thank you.
The pink turtleneck, everything. Are your nails pink? No, they're not.
Almost.
Almost. So you are a rapper.
Yes.
And a poet. And how are you going to define yourself? Because I feel like there are a few different labels I could attach to you as a music maker.
Yeah, I feel like the main thing is singer and rapper.
Okay.
But I do concentrate mainly on lyrics. So I'm a poet and I'm working now on a poetry book.
Ooh.
I'm trying to write a book, an actual book. It's hard, but I'm trying. But yeah, I'm a musician, rapper, and singer, mainly with lyrics.
Yeah. So how did you get into music? I'm sure that's a question that's often asked.
Yeah, I feel like as every Russian girl, I was just sent to study something musical, and my mom decided to send. So first she signed me up to dancing classes, but I didn't enjoy it as much. It was like, I don't know, I didn't feel it. So after 1 year of dancing, I was like, I'm ready to try something else. I was 7. My mom was like, okay, let's try singing. Because my mom, she plays the guitar, she sings, she writes. So she's like, let's try music. And she sent me to the city choir thing. And I just fell in love with singing. That's how it started.
Nice.
Yeah.
Was the dance ballet or something else?
It wasn't ballet, but it was like traditional, like Israeli, I want to say, like something. I'm not sure. I
but
wasn't
you didn't
really,
like it.
It wasn't really good. I feel like I would like it if it was like hip hop dancing or something like that, but it was like the traditional, more, like, and I didn't. No.
So what appealed to you about the choir?
I don't know. It's just, when you do something and you just feel like this is mine, this is what I love, and I started singing, and I liked the girls that were with me then, and we traveled around the country just to perform a little bit, and I liked it. I don't know, it was fun.
Yay! That was in Russia or Israel?
Israel.
Okay.
Yeah, so I moved to Israel when I was 7, and then my mom was like, okay, let's sign you up to something.
So when did you start making your own music, finding your own voice?
I feel like it was not that long ago. I was writing lyrics for a long time, since I was like 9. I think I started writing my own things. It wasn't really good, but for a child, it's nice. But then I feel like I kind of forgot about it and became a hobby, because I always used to hear like that's not a real profession. You need to find something realistic. So I was like, I don't know, maybe like investigator or like maybe a teacher, or I was like going into like different directions. And then I finished high school, I did military, I went to work on a cruise ship, I traveled a lot. But then when I came back home and it was time to decide like college, like I need to study something, nothing spoke to me. I tried, I applied to business school, and I was just like, no, and then something happened that I would like leave aside just for a second, because it's like sad and I don't want to talk about it, but like something happened and I was like, I need to change this world. Like something needs to change here. And then it just came to me and I was like, music, this is how I change the world with my voice. And it just kind of came to me. And and it was, so I was like, what, 22? It was like, 6 years ago.
Yeah. And you have built quite the following. You really do. You have something like 19,000 followers on
9,000.
9,000. Okay,
I
sorry.
wish.
That's still a great number.
Oh, it's a long journey with like followers and stuff. Yeah, but yeah, I'm trying. Like I try not to concentrate on the numbers and just talk to people. And I feel like in the beginning, I was concentrating so hard on like Instagram, and like build this online following. And now when I'm performing in New York, I'm like, wait, my followers are like, some of them are in the UK, some of them in Nigeria, some of them are in Israel. And I'm like, I want to do something not online. I want to do offline stuff, and I want to do more of this, and to have my own radio show and to go out and to do performances and things like that. So now I'm really trying to concentrate on the offline world because I feel like it gives me more pleasure to actually be present, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
So thank
Find
you for
community.
hosting me.
Yeah, of course. Thanks for being here. So, what are the ways that you're starting to branch out in New York City and perform for New Yorkers, meet other people here in New York?
Oh, a lot of things actually. So I started recently doing my own radio show, and it allows me to also meet other artists. It's really in the beginning. I just starting out, but I do want to bring other artists to perform and to, to have this space. I'm going to jam sessions. I'm performing. I performed around the city. I'm not performing now at the moment because I'm working on some new music, but I was performing before. So I also got to know a lot of other artists that I was working with, that I was performing with. I'm going to poetry nights, and I'm trying to find the communities that I belong to. And I'm also a photographer, so galleries, and things like that. So I'm really trying to be wherever I can be in the city.
Yeah. And how did the radio show come about, and what is it? Where can people listen to it?
Well, it's very recent, actually. I've always wanted to have my own radio show. And recently I started looking for it online. And I was just like, radio shows in New York. Let me see what's out there. And I found this amazing station that's called Newtown Radio. And it's an online radio. And I reached out and I was like, hey, I have an idea for a show about New York, about being an immigrant and coming to New York and just like being introduced to this crazy city. Because there are a lot of people who coming like outside of the city or outside of the country, to New York, and it's pretty rough. So
yes.
I was like, let me do a show about it. I feel like we can all like communicate all the like issues, and if I can help in any way. So I decided to do the show, and I reached out. I told them about the show, and they were like, yeah, come on over, we show you the station, and you can have a show. So they gave me a spot every 2 weeks on Wednesday, so I come in from the show right now. And it's been a great experience. I did my like 3rd episode. So
nice. What is it called?
Like Let's Talk New York.
Cute.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm also a transplant. I grew up in Virginia. My dad is from the area, but I didn't grow up here.
So you know the struggle.
Yeah, I came here in June 2016 full time. Before that, I had been going back and forth, trying to come up here as often as I could. But yeah, it takes an adjustment, right?
Yeah. I feel like this city it's tough. It's not easy. So whoever moves here, like you need to have this certain like the will to like really work hard to make it work. Because not everyone falls in love with the city. I fell in love with the city.
Yeah,
like,
me too.
Oh my God, I have to move here. But I know some people that come and it's like, no, it's too much. It's too much,
and they leave after a few months, a year, 2 years tops.
Yeah. Yeah, and I feel like you need a year or so to like just to get adjusted to everything. And I feel like I've been here 2 years now, but I feel like now I'm finally starting to really, really, really like get to know the city and the people, and just I love it. I still love it.
Where are all the different places you've lived before? Because you've gotten around.
I've been in many places, but I traveled a lot. But if we're talking about living somewhere, I was born in Russia. My first grade, I was in Vietnam.
Oh.
I was just there doing my first grade. Then I moved to Israel. I lived a little bit in Germany during COVID because I was working there. I lived a little bit in Georgia, the country, just for a little bit during COVID. I lived in LA for 2 years. Yeah, I did college there. I did music college there, and now I'm here.
So how do you think all of these different places and perspectives have shaped you as a person and a musician?
Oh, wow. Well, first of all, so many different cultures that I got to see. If we talk specifically about music, so in my music I use, because I speak Russian and Hebrew, and I speak German, but I don't make music in German. But I do have 2 other languages, so like you can hear it in my music because I do write mostly in English, but I always have like little pieces of either Hebrew or Russian that I try to incorporate in my music. But also just like seeing and traveling, listening to music from other cultures, because in Germany, the electronic music scene is very strong. In Georgia, it's completely different. It's like more traditional, you know, and just being exposed to all these different sounds, it gives me ideas of like what do I want in my music? Because my music is not very, very traditional. And that's because I like everything, and I just want to I want to use different parts of music that I know in my own music.
Yeah.
So that's how it's like, yeah.
So many influences.
Yeah, it's hard sometimes. You're like, I want this, but they don't go together.
Yeah. Do you work with a producer or you produce all the music?
I wish. No, I don't have this talent. No, I do have a producer that does that for me. I would write something and I would sing it to him and I would be like, this is what I want. And he's like, okay, I got this, the direction, you know? Yeah.
How did that collaboration start?
Well, actually, my current producer, he's my best friend of 20-something years.
Okay, well, now you need to name him.
His stage name is Blacklight.
Okay.
That's how he wants to be introduced. But yeah, he's actually in Israel, so we work remotely. But like we met in 4th grade and just became friends. And he was into music his entire life. But then I got into music and he was helping me out. And then like it worked, the collaboration. I am trying to work with other people as well, just to, you know, to expand, just to see how I can collaborate with other people. But it's very, with him, it's very comfortable. He knows me. He knows the sounds. You know, we're exploring things together. So yeah, that's me and my producer.
Yeah. What do you look for in a new collaborator?
I honestly, right now, I'm looking for a partner mostly. Even if we take a little bit, we take the talent aside, I'm looking for a person who would just do this journey with me and to be with me, because my producer, I love him. He's my best friend, but he has his own music. He has his own thing, and he's very, very far away. So I'm most now when I'm looking for a producer, I want somebody who will, I'm not saying care as much as I do about my music, because that's very hard to find.
Yes.
But I do want somebody who will just not just charge me and do whatever I need to do and just forget about it. I want somebody who I feel comfortable with, who will give me ideas and we can jump ideas back and forth, because that's how you get the best stuff. You get inspiration from the other person and you talk about it and then you create something together. Because it's very hard to be alone in this journey, especially writing music and doing everything. It's sometimes I need somebody to help a little.
How would you describe your process?
You know, it's very different every time. It really depends. Sometimes somebody would send me a beat and I would listen to it and I'll be like, yes, I know, I got it, you know, and I'll just record and I'll rap or sing over it and it just comes to me. Sometimes I would want to write something specific, but then it doesn't come, so it takes a little time. And then usually I would go to nature or somewhere around water if I have writer's block, and I'll just sit there and just chill and write something, try to write something, because it's not, I don't know, I can write all the time, but sometimes it just doesn't hit the spot. Sometimes I would write something, it's it's okay, but it's not what, it doesn't. So sometimes it takes time. But recently I'm really concentrating more on poetry, a lot on poetry, because my producer has been really busy and we couldn't move forward. So I'm like, okay, what can I do just by myself? And because my thing is lyrics and writing words, so I'm really, that's why I wrote my book. I'm just I can write poetry for, all the time. I don't depend on anyone for it. So that's what I was doing recently.
So mostly. Tell me about the book.
So it's called, it's an interesting name because it's called Pretty and Alone, but the end is kind of in
parentheses?
Parentheses? I don't know how you call it in English, these things.
Yeah, parentheses.
Yeah, parentheses. Okay. So it's pretty and alone.
Oh.
And so it basically has two meanings, pretty alone and pretty and alone. And it concentrates a lot on the few recent months, because I've been through a breakup 6 months ago, and I kind of needed to, I just get smacked completely, and then you need to rise back up. So this book is basically about my journey of being on my own, leaving a really long relationship that was a huge part of my life and suddenly just being here in the city all by myself. I don't have family here. So this breakup, I went through it completely by myself.
Yeah.
And in the beginning, I remember the first 2 months, people were like, oh, take it into the, inspiration, write about it. And I couldn't. I was too broken. I'm like, nothing comes to me, But then I feel like time did its thing, and I started, the pain was like going away a little bit. So I was able to concentrate on the art. And then this book just started because I'm like, now I can do it. Now when it's not as painful and time has passed, I feel like there are things that I want to share that people would really understand, because I feel like everyone is going through this hard time, in one way or another. And so it's not only about the breakup. It's not that. The book is just mostly about me, about, what I've been through in these recent months of like discovering myself, my music, my artistry, just being a girl in the city, or being a girl in the music industry, or just very, I don't know, like very personal.
Yeah. How is writing poetry different than writing lyrics for you?
Interesting question. Well, for me, I feel like I mentioned before, because it's something that I can start and finish just by myself. And of course, because English is my third language, I'll give it to my friends to like proofread, to make sure I'm not, being like not understandable. So they will like fix little things, but it's something that I can really do by myself anytime, wherever I want. Music, I'm depending on other people to write the music.
Yeah.
So often, like, I would be inspired to write something, but my producer would not answer the phone, and I'm like, oh, it's gone. And then by the time he answers, I'm like, I don't feel it anymore, So with poetry, I feel like it really, when it comes to me, when I feel like inspired and there's this moment, I'll write it right away. And I'm like, yes, this is it, And it doesn't, again, because I feel like it's more freestyle, because it doesn't have to have like these catchy hooks, or it doesn't have to be in a certain, like 3 verses, because the beat is 3 minutes long, It's just, I can write this much or this much, or, nobody, like, the rules are you can bend them a little bit. So I feel like I can play around with it more, and it's more free. And so, yeah, I recently enjoyed poetry a lot.
I liked the phrases you used a couple minutes ago, I guess, about being a girl in the city versus being a girl in the music industry. So you talked a little bit about the hustle and the grind here. Could you talk about being a girl, as you say it, in the music industry?
Oh, yeah. It's not easy, honestly. I feel like something that I'm personally dealing with a lot is, I don't know why men do that. I don't know why they feel the need to always give their opinion about everything. Like, I will never get an unwanted criticism from a woman. It's always men. You should sing more. You should rap faster. You should write that. You should release that instead. The music video should have been more interesting. This is too boring. Only men. I would never get this like unsolicited advice from a woman. And I feel like it's something like, if I ask for advice, give it to me. Fine.
Right. Yeah.
But I didn't ask you to, to tell me how to write my music. Like, if you don't like it, don't listen to it. But like, don't teach me how to do my art.
Yeah.
And it's something that men do a lot. And I don't know why they feel the need, but it's something that I've noticed, and it's really annoying, Well,
how do you, just to interrupt, how do you respond to that? Do you tend to just be quiet, move on to the next topic, or do you tend to confront it? And if so, how?
I think it depends on the person. It depends who it is. I feel like if it will come from an industry professional or somebody who knows what they're talking about, I'll be like, okay, thank you for that. And I'll consider it or not. Like, it depends on the advice, right? But if it's just somebody on Instagram or somebody on YouTube, I'm just like, didn't ask for it, man. Like, just, you do you, Like, that's what I do. You can choose not to listen. You can choose to do it on your own, but don't, not interested.
Yeah.
It's really annoying. It gets repetitive also. It's just like, enough.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I feel like often, like I felt a little bit in LA when I was in LA. As a girl, I feel like sometimes guys like producers, and I'm saying producers because they're not
quotation
like in
marks.
quotation, because they would like, oh, you should come to the studio and we should create something. It's not about the music, you know? And then and it can get dangerous, right? Like, and fortunately for me, I just know how to recognize bullshit when I hear it, when I see it. But men do it a lot, and I feel like it can get very dangerous. There are a lot of stories about, studios and, between producers and singers. And I feel like I always need to be a little bit more careful and cautious and to just really understand who's the person next to me and take extra attention or, about like who I'm working with and whether if it's for real or just a guy trying to like get attention or trying to, and I've been there, with like working on music and we're sitting in the studio, nothing happened, right? Like we're working on a new song or whatever. And then the guy would ask me out and then I say no. And then this whole time is just wasted because he never cared about the music we were creating, so that's why it's a little, it can get annoying with, it's unfair.
Yeah, it is unfair. What advice do you have to girls to young girls, to little girls, to teenagers who are just starting to come into this awareness of the sexism and unfairness that exists in the world?
I would say, first of all, there are a lot of female producers, a lot. And I feel like we need to push it more because I feel like when you say producer, people automatically assume it's a guy because there are more men. Like more known producers, and they're male. But there are so many talented producers that are female that, so I feel like for a girl, especially for a younger girl that's in the industry, I feel like it's even more comfortable to work with a woman and to find somebody you can trust, and maybe even feel more comfortable with, And I would say also trust your intuition. Many times I feel like, the phrase of like, if it sounds too good to be true, it's probably right. So if a guy comes to you and is like, I'll make you a star, come to the studio, and he never heard your voice. So like, it's probably not, so just ask questions, see the conversation. How do you feel? Women, we have a really strong intuition. So we often, like, if you just leave aside the like, oh my God, I'm going to be a star, just leave it aside and just look at the person, listen to the person. We'll usually know if it's bullshit. We usually feel it. Trust your gut, trust your intuition. Every time, whenever I don't trust my intuition, I end up like being like, oh my God, I should have listened to myself. Because we know. We always know.
What are you excited about right now?
I'm excited. Actually, today I've been connected to a producer. Somebody sent me a number and it's like, this is a producer, and introduced me to him. So I'm excited to get to know him and maybe to create something new.
Yeah.
I'm excited to submit my poetry book to publications and to see where it goes. I'm working on an art gallery that I did because I'm also a photographer. Yeah,
let's hear more about that. Tell me about your photography. What's your style? What are your methods? Are you a phone person, a DSLR person, a film?
I have a mirrorless Sony A7 IV. For the photographers that are listening, this is like my new baby. I fell in love with photography when I was traveling. I've seen amazing places and phone just wasn't enough anymore.
Yes.
So I bought my first camera and didn't know what the hell I was doing. So I'm just like, I was pressing buttons. And then I kind of left it when I went to LA. I started studying music and I kind of left the camera aside. And then COVID happened. And I was so depressed and uninspired because I needed to go back to Israel, live all my life in LA. So I grabbed all my stuff, went back home. Didn't do music for a long time. But then I saw this camera and I was like, okay, cool. So I traveled a lot in Israel because that's all we could do during COVID. And I just took photos of my family, my family friends, my friends. And people started asking me, how much I charge? How much do you charge? We need that. We need that. So I ended up opening my own company because I was like, okay, I'm just making money. Let's make it official. And I opened my own company in Israel, my photography company, and I actually studied it. Like, so instead of making music because I wasn't feeling like it, I'm like, let me concentrate on something else and not force it. So I started doing a lot of photography. And when I came to New York, I just kind of like transferred everything here. So, and I started like getting my own clients, you know, and working on that. So now I'm doing portrait photography, food photography. I'm working with a lot of restaurants around the city and events. So I do most style. Like I do everything but weddings and babies and maternity shoot. Like that's not my style. I don't do that. But the rest I do. And but recently, because, you know, when you're working with a client, you do what they want.
Yes.
It's mostly like, we want that. We want family portraits. We want events, you know. So, and I was trying to find something of my own, something that I want to connect with my art, with my music, with the things that I'm feeling. So I created a project that's called Body Image Through Color, because I grew up having a lot of body issues. I always felt like I'm not skinny enough. Like still to this day, I'm struggling a lot with it. A lot. I'm looking at the mirror. People see one thing. I see a completely different thing. And it's unhealthy. So, and I know many, many women struggle with that. And I was like, I don't know how I got this idea. People ask me, I have no idea. But I created a project, and I called people and I asked them to come to the studio. And basically, some of them did it nude completely, but it was their choice. And some of them left, you know, like the underwear. But basically what I told them to do is to take any color. They had like 12 options of colors. And I told them, you take one color and you put it on your body when you feel insecure, when you feel you want to change about yourself, you know. And then you take a different color that you like and you put it on the parts of your body that you absolutely love. You know, people took it to their own interpretation, and just I filmed everything. You know, there's a video, there are photos, and they're just putting the, you know, some people started dancing, some people were really shy.
Aww.
And then I did it myself, which was a very interesting experience because I never did something like that before. And I created I'm working on an art gallery, so I just need to reach out to galleries, which I'm postponing because I'm scared, but. Yeah, but it's a beautiful, beautiful work.
It's also one more thing to do, right? And it can be hard to focus and follow through on everything.
Yes.
I'm curious, what are some of the objects that they were choosing for the colors?
So a lot of people did stomach.
But what were they putting on them? Like, was it paint?
Oh, paint, yeah. It was paint.
Like body paint?
Yeah. They were just like, they were dipping their hands in the paint and just putting it on their bodies. Sorry, I'm sorry, I guess I didn't mention it.
Either that or I missed it.
Yeah, so
it's fine.
It was
now
paint.
I know.
It was paint, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, that sounds so beautiful. Is any of that on your Instagram?
No, it's super secretive. I shared just like snippets of my own things, like of just my face with a little bit of color.
Okay.
Just a little bit, but I'm keeping it very secret for now. I don't want anyone to steal it.
Well, I can't wait to see it once it is public. That is all the time that we have. Thank you so much, Vika. Thank you, dear viewers, for watching or listening, however you're engaging with Badass Lady Folk. I'm your host, Christine Stoddard. Tune in next time. Bye.